Superhero Like Me, The True Story of Champions Who Changed the World by Kimberly Pellum. Like me!
Do you know about Ramses the Great, who ruled Egypt as pharaoh? He was a warrior king who defeated his rivals with giant chariots, bows, and arrows. His army had 100,000 men, and he built many cities for all to view. 9 other kings used his name, but none of them could do it quite like Ramses II. He ruled the whole empire for more than 60 years, you see. Yeah, that's right. He's a real-life superhero like me. Then there was Mansa Musa, the richest man of all time. He controlled the kingdom of Mali, which had so much gold the whole world could see it shine. He took his royal court, horses, and camels on a super trip across the land. The way he gave away his treasures along the route was like a parade, so grand. He built an awesome school in Timbuktu, you see. Yeah, that's right. He was a real-life superhero like me. Shh. Listen. Toussaint was one of the greatest military leaders the world has ever known. France became rich from all the sugar their slaves had grown. Toussaint was super smart. He read a lot and he knew this wasn't right. He led his people to fight for freedom with all of their might. France kidnapped Toussaint, but they didn't know he had a buddy named John, who kept leading the battle until the slaves had won. They were so proud of what Toussaint started, they put his face on money, you see. Yeah, that's right. He's a real-life superhero like me. Frederick Douglass came on through to help people too. His magical hair gave him superpowers to do something terrific every time it grew. He wrote his own books and newspapers and traveled around the world. He taught that cheating and bullying was wrong and that boys should respect girls. He believed in always being treated fair and next. What to the slave is the 4th of July, you see. Yeah, that's right. He's a real-life superhero like me. Wow. Booker T. Washington was an amazing kid who used thinking as his super tool. He'd do a day's work before daylight, then change the clocks just to make it on time to school. His hard work and special chameleon powers made him the great Wizard of Tuskegee. Raising money and training students to build their own buildings always kept him busy. He even made time for dinner with President Theodore Roosevelt, you see. Yeah, that's right. He's a real-life superhero like me. Carter G. Woodson holds the special secret key to the past. He wrote zillions of books so people could get all the facts. He chose February as a special time for everyone to show what they learned during the year. He treated the neighborhood kids to ice cream, and they would always cheer. He lived in his office so he could afford to do his super important work, you see. Yeah, that's right. He's a real-life superhero like me. The Plant Whisperer, George Washington Carver, came to teach at Booker's school. He was an expert in science, and so were Ernest Just and Dr. Charles Drew. Daniel Hale Williams ran his own hospital and put a man's broken heart back together again. John Kevin Tucker healed kidneys, and Levi Watkins gave countless hearts a second wind. Percy Julian invented medicines to get rid of people's pain and fix their eyes. Dr. Lonnie Johnson studied at Tuskegee and made robots that help NASA astronauts fly. Kids everywhere have a blast because Dr. Johnson invented the super soaker, you see. Yeah, that's right. They're real-life superheroes like me. There's no one on earth who can throw a ball like Satchel Paige. People will come from far and wide just to see him play. But be sure, no one can ever run as fast as cool Papa Bell. He turned the lights off and be in bed before the room got dark. That's the story Satchel liked to tell. Josh Gibson was a powerful hitter and a fantastic catcher too. Home run king. How could he knock the ball so far? The people didn't have a clue. They all play together in their own super league, you see. Yeah, that's right. They're real-life superheroes like me. Can you believe people told the Tuskegee Airmen they couldn't fly? But a lady hero named Mary McLeod Bethune dared to ask why. Despite the big bullies, they became navigators, pilots, and super champions of the air. They trained hard and performed with such precision, they helped the U.S. military become more fair. Benjamin O. Davis Jr. and the Red Tails got special medals for aviation in World War II, you see. Yeah, that's right. They're real-life superheroes like me. Dr. Martin Luther King is known all around the world for his super special dream. He got his superpowers to lead a mass movement because of a super special team. Mega efforts, E.D. Nixon, Fred Shuttleworth sacrificed to make sure all the people were treated the same. It's important to read and study and speak at our very best, just like Malcolm X, so their work won't be in vain. They have colleges, monuments, and whole airports named after them, you see. Yeah, that's right. They're real-life superheroes like me. Jake Gaither was a super rattler who coached a winning football team for 25 years. He took his FAMU athletes to play the University of Tampa with absolutely no fear. It was the first time a game like that happened in the South, and FAMU won 34-28. And don't forget, before Walter Payton was an NFL running back, he played like a tiger at Jackson State. Eddie Robertson won 408 games and had a Super Bowl dedicated to him, you see. Yeah, that's right. They're real-life superheroes like me. Some heroes have special musical powers that transform people when they sing. The way B.B. King plucked his guitar Lucille made her sound like she had magical strings. Stevie Wonder can close his eyes and see music in a place that no one else can grasp. James Brown can do splits in the air. Lewis, Miles, and Dizzy breathed cool life into jazz. MJ walked on the moon and had socks so glittery they were visible from space, you see. Yeah, that's right. They're real-life superheroes like me. Did you know Tupac Amaru Shakur was named after an Inca king? Just like Langston Hughes, he became one of the greatest poets the world has ever seen. He studied at a school named after Paul Laurence Dunbar, who was a famous poet too. Tupac was a fine actor and learned Shakespeare because reading wasn't his favorite thing to do. His library was filled to the sky with books of all kinds. This is how so many words filled his brilliant mind. He taught us to keep our heads up and love our dear mamas, you see. Yeah, that's right. He's a real-life superhero. Like me! Now, I'm super cool. I feel like a king when my barber edges up my hair. I'm sitting on my throne, ready to rule my empire when I rest in his chair. He's my personal magician. The way he uses his clippers is so precise. When I take off my royal cape, I'm ready for the world because he got me looking just right. He is smart and fun, and he's his own boss, you see. Yeah, that's right. He's a real-life superhero like me.
When I look in the mirror, I know I am the best. Thinking about who I am makes me stick out my chest. I can run, I can jump, and I can flex my muscles too. I can do math, and every day I read so much, I get ideas that are brand spanking new. It's in my DNA. I can look at champions all around me just as easy as I count to 3. Yeah, that's right. You can try, but nobody else can be a super duper hero like me.